we're going to cover is something very specific that a lot of people are not currently doing, and you're missing out on this opportunity. And this is really something that most of the time is going to help you grow further in your career and really help you make more money after all through time. And this is more of a long-term play, and this is more of a long-term investment, but it's a must and necessary thing. And sometimes by doing it specifically this, it will turn to quick wins. So you can win quickly by doing the right things, meeting the right people, and I'm gonna go cover this. So what is it that you guys are gonna now have to do? We went over a few things in order for you to get your online profile portfolio, your fire portfolio and everything. But right now there is this one thing that you should be doing right now. And that is this: your network is your net worth. Remember that word, that phrase specifically is going to be reminded once you start finding those people that are going to potentially give you the opportunity or going to open up doors to give you more opportunity just because you're in proximity with them. And ultimately that means is that if you have never heard that you are the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with, it's because you probably are not surrounding yourself with the right information or the people that are giving you the right advice. And it's true. So when it's said that you are the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with, it means that you will have great, amazing friends. Think about the friends that you currently have. Think about the current people that you hang out with. It could be family members, and you hang out with them consistently every single time, right? Think about the ones that are in the level that you want to be at, or like they're in a better level, or think about the ones that are not really in the level that you are, or they're in a little bit of a lower level. And I'm not here to put anyone down, but it's true. Sometimes people just progress faster, better than others. They have better work ethic. They get better opportunities. They're making more money. Ultimately, they have better opportunities coming across. Well, you probably are going to look up to those people because you are surrounded by them. Or if you're not surrounded by those that you look up to, you should try your best to actually get in proximity with those people. And so what happens with that when we have that philosophy? When was the last time that you went to a place where a lot of high-level elite people have been, and you have sustained a conversation where you feel so dumb? I mean, what does that mean? Like, when you go to a room and if you feel like you're the dumbest in the room, you're in the right room. When you go to a room and you feel like, wow, like everything I'm doing here is learning, and people are in another level where it's a level where I want to see myself in. I want to have that job. I want to have that opportunity. I want to be doing that. I want to be that influencer. I want to have that business, or I just want to learn what this guy is actually doing, and this guy is doing it amazing, or this gal. Well, you have to position yourself in those rooms, okay? And the only way that you can position yourself in those rooms is by doing either proper networking or change of environments. So the first thing that you got to do is you got to visualize and internalize. Who are you hanging out with every single day? When I first did this back in Detroit, when I was just starting out on my entrepreneurship, and this would also apply to whenever I was looking for a job, I was mostly hanging out with people that just wanted to party, people that just wanted to like pass the day by day. They do enjoy it. They do have great time, but there was no bigger goals, or there was no passion for nothing. There was no really something that they actually look up to. And if they do, they're not working for it because they're going through the day-to-day doing what everyone else is doing, right? They finish their job. Ultimately, they go to the bar or to go to a restaurant. They sit down and do Netflix and chill. They sit down and just watch TV, wait until the night ends, go to sleep, wake up, do the exact same thing. And I was tired of seeing those type of relationships around my life. And not only to and not to mention that in the weekend it will just be partying. So the moment I started like shifting myself outside of that box of people that I was in, and I went to my friends that actually were doing a little bit better, understood why they were doing better, but also looking at people that I did not know, but I wanted to get to know and understand them and study them. Then that's when everything started to change. That's when I started, getting different skills, getting better techniques, meeting new people. And you can only achieve that by going outside of your comfort zone. You can only achieve that by going outside of the current circle that you currently have. Okay. And you're going to realize that most of these people that you really look up to, they're doing things differently. They think differently, they approach things differently, and they operate differently. They're wired differently. All right. And because of that, they have the job that they have the position that they have in the company that they work, or maybe they're a partner of a company, or maybe they're owner of a company, or they're an influencer, and they're doing the things that are required, that at some point it would be painful for you to even think about that. So, and will be painful for the average person to actually do, because it's outside of most people's comfort zone. So the first thing that you have to do is to understand that you have to put yourself in a position where you get lucky. All right, where you get lucky, so those opportunities happen. Let's talk about how you can actually go ahead and find those opportunities, and where you can actually find those opportunities. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about real quick here, it's going to be your network. So your network, just like I just talked about, understand who you are, who you surround with, right? And your network is going to tell you what direction you're going to head to. So if you have a shitty network, you probably are going to get stuck within that network if you don't do something about it and start looking at answers outside of that network. If you have a great network, that network will introduce you to great people and will continuously introduce you to great people, and so on. And that's ultimately how you're going to find better opportunities in the future, because it's just a matter of finding someone that is worth it and is going to introduce you to your next step. Okay. So if you want to make a lot of money, let's say you are right now making only a couple $100s a month. Let's say you're making $500 a month, 600, and you want to start making $1,000 or 1,500. There is, first of all, is understanding, okay, how much money you want to make, in what position or status you want to be at, how much effort does this require, and once you understand that, you will know what direction to take, and you will know who to actually look up to, right? So for example, me, I wanted to work as an engineer that would make at least $80,000 to $100,000 a year when I was a citizen in Canada and so on. So I wanted to fight for something like that, right? Now, obviously, it's different because I was just there local. I had to go to an office, but I knew that I wanted that higher level job, and the friends that I had at that current moment when finding that first jobs were not going to help me get to that. So what I had to do is go outside and find those people that already were making that money and basically network with them. So when you go and start talking with people that are already making $90,000 a year, for example, and in your case, for example, if you have a remote job and you want to make $1,500, you have to go to the people that are already doing $1,500, $2,000 a month remotely, in the USA, but getting paid in the US, and ultimately living the life that they want, like traveling or being at home, whatever. So you have to approach those people, right? And you have to put them inside of your network. And that can happen really, most of the time, it's going to be online. So that's where the second part of this comes in. So online is where you're going to find most of these people. If you want to find a remote job, you want to go to where they hang out the most, right? Kind of the same thing if you want to meet people in your local area, and ultimately you want to find the millionaires or so on. You want to go hang out to hotels or bars of hotels where they are ultimately are, or at clubs, for example, tennis clubs, whatever. You want to hang out with them to try to meet them. And that's one of the best ways to actually do it. Okay. Now, when you do it online, you want to go to Facebook groups. There is a lot of Facebook groups of virtual assistants looking for jobs, right? But you want to be able to connect with those people that are already making money. How do you do that? You want to find those people. And you can easily do that by going to a Facebook group and ask, like, who is making $1,500 as a virtual assistant every month right now? And I can guarantee you there's going to be one person or two answering that. Watch out for scammers. And you want to try to connect with as many people as that, and you're going to ask them questions. You want to be able to relate with them. Now, if there's a local community in your area that it's already doing it, and for example, online, you can find networking events of remote work, virtual assistant, or like doing online money online. You also want to attend to those things that are happening in your local area. It could be, so if you're in Bogota, go to the Bogota events. But of course, also look for those online networking events, online job groups, and so on. Okay. And whenever you want to go to like online, you want to create a few profiles. You want to create a Facebook profile, and you want to create your LinkedIn profile. Why? Because both have groups. So Facebook groups, it's going to use your Facebook profile, and LinkedIn groups, it's going to use your LinkedIn profile. Make sure that you have a very well done LinkedIn profile and a very well done Facebook profile, so people understand who you are, what you're looking for, what's your goal, and they're going to be understand. And trust me, those people that are already in the top, they don't want to see you here. People that are in the bottom, they want to see you here. But the people that are in the top, they love to help others. Like there's this thing called just the concept of reciprocation, whatever that's called. Whenever you have people that are at a frequency, they want to hang out with those people that are in the same frequency, or trying to achieve that frequency that are higher, because that's how ultimately works. So make sure that you we're ready to develop a LinkedIn profile, Facebook profile previously. So go ahead and take those lessons and make sure that you've developed a really good one. Make sure that you provide value to those Facebook groups. So if you have a skill set, go ahead and provide value. If you learn something, go ahead and provide value. And the way that you can provide value is literally by just posting on the Facebook group. So what you want to do is post in your Facebook group value. So for example, here's the 3 things that I learned about a remote job, or here's the 3 things that I learned about doing appointment setting as a virtual assistant or as a remote worker. Number 1, boom. Number 2, boom. 3, boom. I hope that this helped anyone out there about doing appointment setting as a remote worker. You can put value. Another way that you can provide value is by asking a question where people are answering stuff and other people are actually getting value from those answers that other people are answering. So you can also provide value by asking on a Facebook group, how do you guys find your first remote job that makes $1,500 a month? People are going to answer. Some people are going to see it. They're going to see that that's valuable and that there is reciprocation. I never can say that word. You're gonna laugh at me, but anyways. And that's one way to provide value, right? Post stuff, ask questions, interact with people, go ahead and create like some sort of online presence. You're gonna start building yourself like a circle of people, and hopefully you can start making friends. If you are an introvert, it's still a good idea that you could just at least pick one person that could potentially guide you and do those things for you at the beginning until you learn. For an extrovert, it's a little bit easier. For an introvert, it's a little bit harder for sure. But make sure that you actually relate with those people, like you can connect with those specific people. Number 3 is going to be strategic networking. So again, strategically do what I just said. Go ahead and start finding those niche Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups, start providing value, posting, asking questions, and so on. Build relationships with a community of remote workers and VAs. Go ahead and, for example, go to Facebook, remote fam, fire emoji. And when you find remote fam, fire emoji, that's going to be us. Remote Latinos, we have a Facebook group. Go ahead and join. There's going to be people interacting there, especially us, and essentially asking questions. But don't go and spam others, please, because you're going to get kicked out. Okay. Anyways, number 4, effective communication. So you have to enhance your conversational skills and active listening. So when you go to an event or a networking event, when you go to like whatever it is that you're doing, you want to be able to listen to people. You want to be able to like really, really care about understanding others and ask questions and listen. This is a skill that a lot of people miss out on because people are going to be filled. People love, first of all, talking about themselves. So when you listen to them and you ask proper questions, then you ultimately are going to have leverage because they think that they have actually control the conversation when you are really the one that having control of the conversation. How is that going to help? Because now you're going to be able to figure things out of what people are doing, how things are working for others, and figure out what works for others and what doesn't work. And that's going to be very convenient for you. And they're also going to connect with you. Okay. Make sure that whenever you go to a networking event or online networking event, you connect with at least 1 to 3 people, but you connect really, really well. And pick the ones that you're going to connect with, and the ones that, are the BS, don't really spend too much time. The ones that actually do want to provide value and connect with others and potentially connect you with other things, that's where you want to stay at. Now, if you have the ability to provide value by connecting them with something that you already know that works, or like a potential job opportunity, it could be like a tool, it could be like a job board, it could be like a company that is hiring, it could be like an opportunity. Connect them. And you see with the actual energy that you give, you're going to get the same energy back. It's the act and the concept of reciprocity. Reciprocity, okay? 5. So make sure that you do this networking opportunities, right? Utilize your network to uncover remote work opportunities, explore maybe also marketplaces for freelancers that could potentially have a long-term play. So for example, sometimes freelance opportunities, there's some people that are actually finding also some full-time jobs. So you're going to be able to find that. 6, grow your network, continuously nurture connections through effective follow-up. Don't just connect with someone and forget about them. Make sure that you check up on them. Make sure that you actually interact with Facebook groups. People get to know you, provide value to your network, and embrace with reciprocity. That's the word. Understand, number 7, understand why other people are successful. So again, when I was talking to you about the story at the beginning, I studied the people that were successful. One of my biggest jobs in life has been to study successful people, and I read about those successful people. So I read books, I asked them questions, I saw podcasts, I heard podcasts, And I ultimately learned about why they were successful or why they had what they had at the current moment. So I was in a mission of understanding the successful, understanding those that are at the level where I want to be. And this, guys, it's gonna be huge, crucial, where you understand why other people are successful and why maybe you're not. Why when people are successful, they're doing something right. Even though it's like they got there with the worst way possible, they did still something right. There's still something that they did right, whether that's like influence, power, connection, skill sets, going from 0 to 1, zero to hero, whether that's they develop a great network, whether they're a great speaker, whether they're great in sales, whether they can convince people, persuade, influence, doesn't matter. They're doing something right. Always learn from those. Okay. 8. So as a conclusion, guys, all of this is really, really important. Make sure that you start creating relationships online and create a network, because at the end of the day, your network is your net worth. Make sure that you have a personalized networking action in plan, because this is going to help you elevate. And let me tell you something that you may have already kind of understood. When you meet someone, they might present you to your next employer. So make sure that when you meet with someone, everything is intentional. Do your best job to increase your network. You're gonna, for sure, increase your net worth.